Hello and welcome back to Particleworks Power-Ups. Today's request comes from a new user who's worked with other CAE tools in the past. In some software, imported parts automatically have different colours, making it easier to show results to clients who can identify parts by colours at a glance. In Particleworks, all parts start as grey, but we can set them to any hex code we like. The problem? Manually colouring each part is time consuming and not the best use of your time. That's where today's macro comes in. It will cycle through every component in the simulation and apply a random colour automatically. Let's jump in. As always, this script starts with the initialization script. We will also be needing the random library here, which we'll be using later to generate our random colours. We can then define a new function here. This is where we can set subroutines to be called later in the script without typing the subroutine each time. This is a very simple function just to demonstrate the process. If we want to pass any input variables, we can set them inside the brackets here, and then the sub-process is defined after the semicolon. This function only requires a single calculation, but we can include as many additional steps as we require for a more complicated function. This function simply generates a random 6-character string using the hexadecimal alphabet with a hashtag at the front. And finally, we return this calculated value. For the main body of the script, we simply need to use list comprehension to create a list of all nodes in that scene that are of the type polygon. We then cycle through this list using a for loop. And finally, we can set the new colour of the parts by calling the function which returns a random hex code and assigns this to the material.diffuse variable of this node. This simple macro is then complete, so let's see it in action. Let's use this macro on this simple scene with multiple bodies as our test. To run the macro, I just need to drag and drop and everything updates instantly. If you're not happy with the colours, I can run it as many times as I like. Just note, each time I run the macro, I get a new Python console along the bottom here. You can close them all by selecting the player, right-clicking and removing others. Sometimes the colours are very familiar. This is because we're not using a random seed each time. We could improve our macro to include this or ensure colours are sufficiently different, but that's a job for another episode. If you have a problem you'd like our help with, our contact details are on screen now and in the description below. For more information about our full API online training course, visit our contact page for details. See you next time.